people. It's one thing to mouth off here on YouTube, but it's another thing to actually cause physical damage to somebody, especially in this country. Well, a few times. He's a big guy. Michael being 67 at the time. Ricky, I know you're probably listening to this, and getting through to you is like almost as impossible as getting through to the other guy that's sitting in jail. Then you're sort of kind of celebrating his death. You're celebrating that you don't have to go to any more court hearings, and you're still downing him. If anything, you should be the one that should be quiet about this, because everybody has a memory of you sneaking up behind him, doing what you did. If you don't see that as a cowardice act, I don't know what to tell you, man. You're capable of doing a lot of crazy things, Ricky, but I don't know what was in your head at the time, especially in the Philippines. And you rent a room next door at the Stanley House to do all this? You stalked him. Yeah, you got away with a lot in that case. No, Michael didn't have any permanent damage or anything from you slapping him. Michael made a big thing on that so you could do some ambulance chasing shit, you know, like my former tenants did. They saw a paycheck at the end of the rainbow there. That's all it was. You saw a paycheck. Well, Fazio saw a paycheck, put it that way. It didn't work out too well for him. No, so we don't have any disclosure of information initially on the first case with him, whatever, whether you had to give him a certain amount of money or not. I just want to say that I saw the video again, just kind of looking back, and I can imagine how frightened Michael was. I mean, should I really care? That's a really good question. As I said, I got that angel on one shoulder and I got the devil on the other when it comes to this guy. You know, so if I average him out and put them together, I come to a neutral point where I say, despite all the crap that he's done to me, even Michael, though everybody cheered that on, even Michael didn't deserve to be attacked from behind, because if he was ever able to be in a position that he's able to defend himself, which he wasn't. If he was younger, better shape, he would at least had an opportunity to fight back. All Michael did was, all Ricky did was actually, you know, sorry, I get these little interruptions, internet connections, because I've got the most wonderful internet in the world. Not. Okay, so this is just really a retrospective. I'm looking back on that particular video, and Fazio was really frightened from that. Every man deserves a chance to fight back, if you can. But number one, don't attack a person who can't fight back, you know, physically. Someone Michael's age at that time, come on, what chance would he have against Ricky? And Ricky may not be in the best shape in the world, but he's a lot stronger, and he was younger, and a lot more agile than Michael Fazio was. But hitting somebody from behind like that, which number one was really stupid. He was live streaming at the time. What was Ricky thinking? Did he not think? See, some people just don't think on here and they get themselves into trouble. He probably was watching him live from the Stanley House next door. He knew he was live streaming. So why would he come to make a grandstand? I think Ricky wanted the attention, and he was willing to take the chance to be caught on camera slapping Michael Fazio to make his point. That's kind of scary in itself, really. What will Ricky do to make his point with somebody? What will he do? If he did that to an older man that everybody knew was in piss poor health and overweight, what would he do to somebody else? Although he didn't stand up to Mick Fisher and anybody, and he had a lot of circumstances in Thailand and other places where people that he gave shit to, he actually met up with, and he he kind of backed down, didn't he? So it's kind of like he's looking for weak prey, but he didn't stand up to Mick Fisher, did he? Or anybody else that was, let's just say, his equal as far as height, girth, age, or whatever, right? No. He didn't do that. He had incidents in Thailand, Cebu, everywhere. But when, you know, push comes to shove, when you meet somebody that looks agile, have a little meat on their bones and height, maybe not as old as Michael, oh no, he won't approach those people and do what he did to Michael Fazio. I know this is sounding like a pro Michael Fazio show. It's really not. I'm just stating the facts between right and wrong. That's all I'm doing. I'm not sticking up. You know. But in this case, hello, Gabrielle. In this case, I have to say something on that, because we seem to forget that incident, and I didn't. It's still on there on Fazio's show. He's got his own recording on there. And the man was frightened. I think everybody deserves a chance to let him fight back, if they're able to. Now, with all the wrongdoings that Fazio did to me, I could actually look back and say, that was wrong. That was wrong. He could have gave, Fazio a heart time. He was not in good shape, man. Should I care? That's the other question. Should I care? Did I care? At the time, I thought it was just as funny as everybody else thought it was. I figured he really had it coming to him, which he did. I mean, he really did. But, I mean, he didn't expect that, okay? Because he's always been very cocky. Nobody's going to come over there and challenge me. Well, you know, like how people's mouth gets them in trouble all the time? We have another fella out there that is known for running his mouth and got himself in a world of hurt. That's what happened to Michael Fazio. He got himself in a world of hurt simply because he couldn't shut his mouth. So, how do you people look at this? Whether you want to comment or not, I'm not going to stay on here long anyway. Knowing Fazio's character, how do you look at this? That he was attacked by Ricky in such a way. Whether you like Fazio or not, opinions are always glad to be heard on here. Fazio had it coming. He believed no one would ever show up at his house. Yeah, that's kind of the way it worked out. I remember all the challenges he made, telling people, yeah, all three of you come over to my house. He's going to be ready for them. People tend to bring things on to themselves. And I guess maybe that's a partial point to my show. You run your mouth enough, someone may take you up on an offer. That goes for every one of us. Every one of us. Every single one of us. So I could easily say, well, why don't people on YouTube just chill out? Well, that's an easy thing to say. Nobody chills out on YouTube because they're all keyboard warriors, most of them. But they gotta watch out. Someday, maybe somebody might approach them. It doesn't have to be the person that's involved with any kind of negative dealings with somebody. It could be somebody else. Nobody would ever know. That's why you gotta watch what you're saying, because people can be very unpredictable. Who the hell needs all that kind of trouble, man? But, you know, like I always say, you need to sometimes put things to a stop. And you got to figure out what is the best way to handle a situation where you've been very adverse with somebody on YouTube, or they've been very adverse with you. You got to sit down, feel it out, and just say to yourself, okay, what's my best approach to this situation? Yeah, well, shit does happen, but would you like to be the recipient of somebody coming up to you from behind and slapping you silly, or maybe punching your lights out where you don't have a chance to defend yourself? Yeah, I mean, that's the way I see it. But Ricky is a very aggressive person anyway. You've seen him at these political campaigns. He's played these videos. Oh, Gabriel said, remember Fazio on a speed bag? Speed bags don't punch back. Lucky for him. Well, you got a point there. You got a point there. Speed bags don't punch back. Look, you can claim to be anything you want on here, man. It's all talk. Is anybody actually capable of doing any of that really nasty stuff to people? Sure, everybody's capable. But whether they do it or not, that's another story. Should they do it? How far has somebody driven you to want to actually do physical damage to another human? I don't get off on that stuff. I really don't. I really am against violence. You know, you can say anything you want when you're upset, but the main thing is whether you act out on it or not. That's the big difference. Gabrielle says, it was a cheap shot, but an open-handed slap. Yeah, I saw that. When they were in front of the Stanley house, Fazio could have squared up with Ricky. Instead, he dropped to the ground screaming again. Yes, I did witness that. Well, in all honesty, what would Fazio be able to do to Ricky? You never met Ricky. I did. What could Fazio really do if he didn't decide to go take the submissive position and lay down on the ground? Maybe that was the best thing he could have done, despite the embarrassment, but he saw a paycheck on that. So that's why he did that too. He's very calculating, Michael. He saw a paycheck coming. Call the police, you're going to jail, you're going to jail. He, in a way, welcomed that opportunity. He probably welcomed that opportunity. Believe it or not. I would not put it past him. He was that calculating. But he didn't have a chance. He didn't have a chance, really. No, not against Ricky, you know. I probably wouldn't have a chance against Ricky. I would have better defense than Michael would. But I'm still not a younger man anymore. I probably could do what I possibly could. As possibly I could succeed. Unless the guy sits on me, then I'm gone. I couldn't get him off me. He's a big guy, weighs a lot of weight. I met him. I tell it like it is. I'm not going to pretend I could kick Ricky's ass. It's really according to what the situation is, really. You know, I could get him in a position where I can make a good shot at him and just take care of business. But you can't depend on that. There's no perfect situation in a fight. Someone is not going to stand there and get in the right position so that you can make the right shot. It doesn't work that way. Nobody's going to, strike a pose. Nobody's going to strike a pose for you. And they're going to get in a perfect position You could be on the attack and not worry about him striking back. In a real fight, it doesn't work that way. You gotta be fast, that's the thing. But if you don't have the capability of being fast, that's not in your advantage. But if the person is a lot bigger than you, it certainly is a disadvantage for you. But you'd be surprised what smaller people can do to a bigger guy. It's been done before. And some people get really shocked and say, how did this little guy beat the shit out of this big Goluth? How is that possible? Well, it does happen. And has happened, you know? Yeah. Yeah, he basically attacked the senior from behind is what he did. And there was no excuse for that, even if it was Michael Fazio as a recipient. We all cheered, all of us. I think most of us did. I was like practically falling off my seat, saying, yeah, this motherfucker really deserves this shit. It's about fucking time. But then I look back and say, okay, well, Rick, if you were going to do that, go in front of him, challenge him before you even raise your arm, and just say the words. Okay, you called me out, MFer. What are you going to do? Give him an opportunity to respond and see if Michael would respond or not. Rather than coming behind him and slapping him like he did. Wrong, no matter who Michael Fazio is. No matter what Michael Fazio does. You know, some of us will feel they don't like him. He deserved to have a little slapping around. As I said, the little angel and the devil on the other shoulder of mine are fighting with each other right now. And the devil is saying, you know, Frank, you loved that happening. And at the time, I did. The angel is saying, well, come on, no senior citizen, he was a senior citizen, deserved to be attacked by a younger, much larger person, where the advantage would be with Ricky and not with Michael. Michael was crying like a baby. Because I don't know if Michael's ever got in a fight in his life, to be honest with you. I don't think he knows how to fight. Never seen him as a fighter, even in the young videos he used to show and looking at him. He did not look like a big guy. He didn't look like he was a fighter, even at a young age. So that's what I kind of have to say about that. Let's see. Frank, if you drink some water, you won't have the Xanax Trimouth effect as much. Well, thank you for caring. I drink plenty of water. Now, let's see. If you drink some water, I don't know what this nonsense is all about, but man, we had enough of that. Enough. Okay, strike a pose. Okay, here we go. Easy as pie. Okay, enough of that one. That was a love tap. Yeah, I know it was. It was pretty obvious. Fazio overreacted to that, but he did that for a reason. Then tried to tell the hospital he got beat up and lost his hearing and everything. Yeah. I know you're probably surprised I'm still talking about Fazio. Only because these thoughts came to my head. I saw the old video of him when Ricky attacked him, and I had to make commentary on that. I think it was a need to make a commentary on that one. And I know Ricky's listening too, or at some time point he will. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. Ricky was wrong. Michael was wrong with all the things he did. Ricky was wrong for what he did to Fazio. And then, you know, to make complete fun of it, of everything, you know, his death. I mean, a lot of people think I'm making fun of his death just because I did some shows talking about him. No one said I was making fun of his death. No. I was commenting on his life and what he did as a living person that wasn't cool. Not his death. As I said, I tried to help him out despite being an adversary, by giving him some good solid advice about what he should do with his leg, his infection, all that stuff. I certainly did, so don't throw that in my face. I'm not that cold. I'm not sorry he's gone, but while he was alive, from the first time that he's ever introduced those photographs he had in the past of those deep craters in his leg, I almost fell off my chair when I seen that, saying to myself, why the hell isn't he at a specialist or something? Then I did some research and found out that in his situation was a recurring thing, that hyperbaric treatment might have been the answer for him. And I told him that. Okay, I did. Ricky's live in Chiang Mai with William Abrams now. Pretty boring stuff, actually. I'm glad I gave you guys an alternative. Yeah, Ricky just wanted to spook Fazio and do it while I was on the live stream. He wanted to grandstand is what he wanted to do. But he wasn't thinking. He really wasn't thinking. Watch me. I'm going to get even with Fazio. I'm going to gain my audience from this and get donations. And I'm going to get my revenge on camera. The best revenge in the world while he is actually on camera and everyone could see. That's where he went wrong because, well, as you know, he was taken into legal measures over this. He did spend 4 days in jail, which is better than a kick in the ass, I guess. And he might have had to pay a couple of bucks to Fazio for all we know initially, for the initial part. Fazio's theatrics was just to save face and to try to get a payday. Yeah, I know that. You know that. Yeah, you got that right. Okay, so I guess we could probably, I'm not feeling singing anybody's happy birthday song. I'm not in a singing mood. I don't know anybody sing. When my birthday comes, I never tell them I don't want to hear any happy birthday songs. Although, tomorrow night, we may have to be singing. I don't know. I don't think we are, but it's my girlfriend's son's birthday, and we're all going out for a buffet. It's Halloween, Valentine's. This resort has this every year. We're going again for Valentine's Day tomorrow night and dragging our neighbors with us, the guy, his wife, and his kid. Ricky said those 4 days in detention was terrible. Imagine what Bummer has gone through so far. Let's not even talk about that guy, please. Cut it off right there. No more talk about the man you call Bummer. No more about that particular case going on there. Nip it in the bud, as Barney Fife said. Just nip it in the bud. Everything's being taken care of as we speak. Trust me when I tell you. He may not be on YouTube again. Possibly. There's a good possibility. Okay, that's all we'll say about that. Bruce Monroe, not trying to poke the bear. But I really enjoyed the few live streams with Ricky. TGIF at Ayala was legendary. Yeah, sort of was, wasn't it? You know it was all planned, right? That was pretty obvious. I was a little naive. But then, when I saw him get on the phone, and basically he was trying to check where Barry was, it was all set up. That's what the phone call, we were sitting down. And no sooner after that phone call, Barry walks in. And I never knew he was there. And someone just hinted, I thought they were joking. Barry's over at the bar. And there was like this really kind of crunched over, old looking man with a bald head. And I just took a glance at my eye. Oh, that ain't Barry. And I looked at him, I said, God damn, that is Barry. That is him. I go, what the fuck is he doing here? Well, it just so happened that Brian Hollywood was there on the other side of the bar. And this is a guy he used to party with whenever Brian Hollywood would come into town, into Cebu. So it was a setup. It was a setup with Ricky, number one, to get Barry coming down there. And it was a setup with Barry for having Brian Hollywood come down there. That's exactly what happened. Ricky had chemistry with that Lima Brava. Imagine what happened off camera. I don't really want to imagine. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I figured as much. What were the odds? Freaking impossible. But Ricky really sold it. He's like no, that was wrong. Even I'll say it. That was wrong what Ricky did. As I said, sometimes you look back on something and you make a reevaluation of what you've seen, you know. And as much as Fazio's a prick, you know, was a prick, just noting his age and noting that he was not able to take care of himself in any physical way like that. Yeah, that was wrong. No, he brought the content, that's for sure. He entertained a lot of people with that one. There's a lot of people that were very happy, including myself at the time. I'm saying to myself, oh, fuck, this is great. This is great. He got what he fucking deserved. I was expecting more than that at the time. Why just a fucking slap? However, again, in retrospect, you can look back on these things and just say, look, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And that was wrong, even if it was Michael Fazio. Nobody deserves to be snuck up on like that. And I do mean nobody, really. Ricky brought that content that day. Well, I'm sure it was entertaining to a lot of people, and it certainly was to me at the time. But, you know, we all grow up. And sometimes some of us have a better perspective of what happened after a little time goes by. You kind of put your harsh feelings to the side on what you think this person has done to you, and just be real about it. Whether you liked Fozzie or not, was it right? Sure, it was entertaining, but is it right? Is it right that Ricky snuck up behind him and did what he did? No, clearly not right. Someone needs to be able to defend themselves. If you want to go on the attack of somebody, well, you heard the old saying, pick on somebody your own size. You could use that expression, or you could just say, find a worthwhile opponent that you know can fight back equally. Consider it a challenge. Don't prey on the weak the physically weak or the aged, when you know chances are you're going to win that fight. It's not a challenge. It's an assault, is what it is. If you know somebody's old and they can't defend themselves, or if they're physically out of shape, okay, how are they going to defend themselves? Michael didn't have a chance if he wanted to fight back. And if he tried to fight back, Ricky would definitely have gotten more aggressive, and it would not have been just a slap. I'll guarantee you that. I'll guarantee you that. That's where it becomes wrong. A lot of people run their mouths on here. You know what I tell people? I said, if I was approached by somebody, I'm really honest about it. I will do what I can to protect myself because I have to. I would have a choice about it, okay? They could be bigger and badder than I could ever be, or younger. And you could say to yourself, oh shit, this ain't gonna work. I'll say that from the beginning. You weigh out the odds of what's going to happen in a confrontation like that. And all you can really do, you can't stand there and you have to let them use you like a punching bag. Of course not. You can't, you have to fight back. You're trying to save your own ass. So you get some lumps and bruises. Did you manage to give this person a few lumps and bruises in the course of that action? Well, if you did, even if you got the shit beat out of you, you accomplished something right there. Remember, you went against the odds in the first place. Bigger, younger than you, stronger. And if you could manage to get in a couple of good ones, you did very well. Even if you got your ass beat the shit out of it in the process, at least you did a little damage to the other person. So never stand there. My advice is that you know you're not going to beat the odds. The percentage, the odds say that if you're an older man and not as big and strong as somebody else, yeah, the odds are you may not win this fight unless you know something that they don't know. Or you perhaps, even at an older age, can perhaps got a few tricks in your bag. And that does happen, folks. It does happen. Don't say it don't happen. It couldn't happen. But if you don't have that magic bag of tricks, your ass is in trouble. So you at least have to defend yourself as best as you can. I don't care if you have to gouge their eyes, hit them in the knees, hit them in the groin. I don't care. You got to protect yourself. Remember, fighting is not the other guy wanting to tickle you. They want to hurt you. So you got to think about it that it's a life-threatening situation when you get into a fight with somebody. If they hit you the wrong way, you can die. If they hit your nose the wrong way, there's going to be some cartilage going up into your brain. I know how it works. I know it very well. I know it could kill a guy instantly if I had to. Would I want to do that? Only if it was really life-threatening going on. And I had no other choice. It don't matter how old or how big I am. If you know what you're doing, or you knew anything at all, I don't care if it's just one damn thing, you might be forced to actually, do it. What choice do you have? You're trying to protect your own life. But as I say in all my shows, I don't advocate violence at all. But my golly, try to protect yourself as much as you can. That's why I get really tired of these movies where they show women as the helpless one. The guy or something is going to knife her or beat the shit out of her or rape her. She's just, or maybe the girl's boyfriend's getting the shit beat out of him. And she's just standing there all frightened and everything and not helping her boyfriend. I've seen a lot of movies. They depict women this way as weak creatures. But they're not. They got arms and legs. They can kick, they can scratch, they can punch. But they always depict women in these movies as being helpless creatures. But they're not helpless creatures. They can do damage too to a guy. They could do all the damage in the world if they just applied themselves. But, Hollywood, Okay, I'm just reading some of this stuff here. How do I scroll down anymore on here? I don't know. I'm missing some comments here. Okay, so I think you get my point. I don't advocate violence. I really don't. Sure, we could all get mad and say, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to do this and do that. Do you really want to kick somebody's ass? Do you really want to go through that trouble? Sure, you're going to get satisfaction if it's the right person. But as I always say also, wounds heal. And you're not going to change the psychology of the person. They'll go right back and do the same thing over again. So what did you prove? Okay, you got your aggression out on somebody. Okay, mind you, I get it. I even understand it. I do, believe me when I tell you, I really do. But have no regrets. It could have some terrible ramifications, legally or even your own life, because you don't know. You really don't know what somebody's capable of doing. You don't. You see a lot of wiry little guys in the street, and you're probably thinking, or you're in a bar somewhere, and this wiry little guy with a big mouth or something, you know, is giving shit to somebody a hell of a lot bigger, okay? Or the other guy was giving shit to him, the big guy. Figuring that this is a pipsqueak. He's a squirt. This guy ain't no challenge to me. But you'd be surprised how many times that's happened. Where the little guy managed to beat the shit out of some big galoot. It happens. It happens all the time. Maybe the guy had a little bit of talent. Or maybe he was just didn't want to chicken out. He wanted to protect himself. We have that natural instinct to preserve ourselves. And every animal will fight back. Even a rabbit will try to bite you if you're trying to hurt it. Even a rabbit. It's a natural instinct. And you have to follow your instinct. Because if you just stand there, then you're going to be a bloody mess. Do you really want to be a bloody mess? You're going to have to clean it up. And your clothes is going to get stained with blood. Why do you want that? Can't use the clothes anymore. Aloe. You just got to make believe. You got a German accent. And I always do aloe. You got to understand. You know, Aloe's a character, that's for sure. Ain't no doubt about that. What's all this shit? All these earthquakes going on. Davao area again. I had, what's his name was commenting on my show? The Philippines Experience, Gary Dagak. He came on my show this morning and was making some comments, and right when he's on the phone, they were having that earthquake. And all I know is there's all kinds of aid coming in. I didn't know it was that bad. I don't know if it displaced a lot of people because there was a low pressure system going on, possibly with rain, and I guess there were landslides going on and shit like that. Who wants to live down south? That's where all the problems are. It's either like in the Manila Luzon area, where all the weather systems come into. Why the fuck would you want to live there? Down in Davao, that area, and around there, they're always having these weather problems. And landslides and everything else. Who the fuck wants to live there if you have to go through that? Why'd I says you're a little evil, Frank, and I love it. I'm not evil. I'm a nice guy. You just got to get to know me. I'm just a regular guy. All I do is try to defend myself when necessary, like anybody else does. Whether it's something verbal, something said over on the computer, or whether it's on the street. You got to defend yourself somehow. And if you can't fully defend yourself in a situation, you make an effort on it. It's one thing you really don't want to make a do with some people. With some people you make enemies with, and you really don't want. Because you don't know their psychology. Because you never know. They never know. You know, unexpected things could happen, you know. I mean, I have a goal right now to put somebody away for a long time. Whether that's really going to happen, I really don't know. It's not up to me, but I'm not going to talk about this thing because I said I wasn't going to. But I'm trying to make a point here. When I set my mind on something, is what I'm trying to say, is that I try to follow through on it and have a really good memory for people that has verbally hurt me in a sense of character. Character, not like words gonna hurt me, but it really has to do with attacking somebody's character, which is just as bad as somebody physically attacking you, as far as I'm concerned. I have a long memory. And like I say all the time, fuck my age. Age has nothing to do with it, man. It's somebody's psychology, what they're capable of doing, in more ways than one. So watch out who you argue with on here, because you just never know. They could be 2 steps ahead of you at all times. They might know more about you than you think they do. They might have that proverbial ace in the hole or in the back pocket. They could be stalking you right now and you wouldn't even know it. You don't know these things, so you got to keep an open mind. If you made enemies on social media, you better figure that your enemy is going to try one way or the other to kind of make your life a little bit miserable. So it's your responsibility yourself to know that, understand that, and silently, as best as you can, work on a possible strategy and see hey, something did happen, okay? You got to do it silently, though. You just keep things to yourself. You might have a remedy for that situation. You might. They're not aware of it. So you let them mouth off as much as they want. Then one day they get a big surprise. Shit happens like that on social media. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You just never know. Like that box of chocolates. Open up that mixed box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get unless it's labeled. And not everything in life comes labeled, my friends. Nope. You have to take a bite into it. You got to figure out, is it a cherry filling? Is it caramel? What's in that bite? But in order to find out, my friends, you got to take that bite first, don't you? You got to bite. And sometimes you have to bite And sometimes you gotta bite hard. Yeah, Mr. Yazdig says you're absolutely correct. The secret is to know your enemy. Don't brag about shit. And don't brag and say, I know everything about you. You don't let your enemy know that stuff. You gotta find out what is their weak points. Emotionally, morally, physically, what is their weak points? And you examine. If you have to take notes, you take notes. What is their weak points? Something that they talked about on the show before? You got to listen. Did they have knee problems before? Go for their knees. They got back problems? Go for their back. What are their inefficiencies? Just remember what they were. That's your ace in the hole in the future. You've been listening to somebody long enough? You think you know a lot about them? Well, you don't always know a lot about them. But if you know enough about somebody, and you know their weaknesses, you're ahead of the game right there, my friend. Know your enemy. Know them good. I don't know the art of war. I just know the art of protecting myself. That's all. If that don't work, oh well, I'm a goner. I can't fight the world, my friends. I just can't. I just can't fight the world. I'm not the young man I used to be. And even when I was younger, I didn't pride myself of getting into fights and shit like that. I avoid that like the plague. Like the plague. Yeah, you can get mad enough at somebody and you want to beat the shit out of them. We all probably felt like that with somebody in our life, I'm sure. It's human nature. And there are some people that probably deserve it. But I still don't say that's the best way of doing things unless you got a one-on-one situation and a person raises their fist, which is an invitation for a fight, and they're basically telling you, I plan to try to do some damage to you. Okay. Well, they opened up that can of worms. There's no choice. They raised their fist first, okay? Or they threw the first punch, or tried, and they assumed that you were an easy target. Two things could happen. You get the shit beat out of you, it might be the other way around. Nobody really knows in a fight. Everybody assumes because it's a big guy. Oh man, you're fucked. A lot of times you are fucked. A lot of times you are fucked if it's a really big dude, man. Unless you know what the fuck you're doing, you know. No, you could be really fucked with a big dude. There's no question about that. All he has to do is sit on you, man, and you're just gone. How you going to get out of that? You watch these movies all the time, and you'll see this guy getting punched out so bad that he would have been knocked out after the first punch. But this is Hollywood. The guy's getting punched and punched and punched. What? Your jaw's not breaking? Really? After 15 punches in the face and roundhouse kicks that wound up in your face, you know, an uppercut, I mean, a Superman punch, and your jaw's intact? Really? That's Hollywood. Most people that get a good shot in their jaw, or near their temple, especially, they're going to go down. You have the certain nerves in your chin, and you get impact on that, you can be knocked out instantly in other areas. But this is Hollywood. Hollywood. It doesn't happen in real life. It doesn't happen in real life that way. Some people have a strong jaw. I'm not saying that they don't, but normally, in the real world, you get hit in the right place, you're going down. You watch that in martial arts, that's all real. It's not that fucking phony wrestling shit. Martial arts is real. When they make good contact with somebody, you see them going down. It's real. They're hurt, they're confused, they're disoriented, they can't get up. You could break their jaw real easily. They get kicked in the ribs. They could have the ribs broken. But on TV, it's funny than shit. They're in these fights for like an hour. They've been thrown off, you know, like, you know, a 3-story building or something, and they're still intact. And they're still getting up and fighting with the other guy. And they're exchanging vicious martial arts type of action. Kicks in the faces, how many times? Kicks to the liver, punch to the liver, kicks to the knees and groin, and they're still fighting. That's unrealistic. That's just called entertainment. Okay, you got the flight or fight response, okay? You have the choice in a dangerous situation. You could face it head on and take your chances, or you could get the best guarantee in the world is to walk away from the situation. And it might be an embarrassing thing for you to do, but it's certainly better than wind up going in the hospital and getting yourself some fucking hospital bills, or getting yourself hurt and in pain in the process. So what's the solution? It's very easy. Don't get into a fight. Find a way to get the results you want, whether it's legally, whether it's negotiation, no matter, you know, whatever floats your boat. But you don't really, nobody really wants to get, unless they really like fighting and they're trying to prove something to their girlfriend or impress somebody or show how big and bad they are to make some kind of a fucking impression or something. Those are guys that are always looking for trouble. Bar boys, you know. They're usually covered with tattoos and got smelly breath and big bellies and shit like that. They just try to show people how big and bad. That's why a lot of people like to challenge somebody who is big and bad, because they think they're big and bad. That's why they do that. For example, you might be a famous martial artist and somebody thinks, oh fuck man, this guy's making money and fame and all that shit. If I could beat him, I know I could beat this guy. So they want to prove themselves. It's the guy that does the martial arts. If I could do something with him, I can make a name for myself. I can prove to my friends, see, I'm not a famous martial artist or a boxer. And I just beat the shit out of Chuck Norris or whoever the hell it is. And by the way, you don't know how many times Chuck Norris maybe got the shit beat out of him and some of these other people. You're not going to see their bad points and the highlights of their life necessarily, and how many times they got the shit kicked out of them. As good as they were in their art, there's always somebody that could be better. Always. They're just not known because they were never given the chance to go for training and have that opportunity to get into that martial arts fighting on the camera and making money and being offered a challenge. Look at that guy, what's his name, Tommy? You know, and he appeared on with Sylvester Stallone, Tommy Morris. That motherfucker was the real deal, man. That guy was a powerhouse. Too bad he fucked up his life and died. And he was playing that role on Rocky, remember? Tommy Morrison. That guy was scary, man. But he partied away, did coke, did this, did that, this, that, and it ended in his own destruction. He was really violent natured, but he wanted to really prove himself. Same way as he kind of did on the Rocky series, you know, when he was fighting Sylvester Stallone. Remember, he came up to Rocky and he said to him, I want to train. And he forced himself, look, I want to train. I want to fight. So what he did was he used Rocky to train him well. The guy already had the strength, right? He used Rocky to train him and then turns on him. He says, now I want to fight you. You taught me everything you knew. I got power, I got strength, and I'm going to kick your ass and I'm going to make your money. So he turned on him. That's what he did. But you all seen the movies. How could you not have seen them? Okay. Michael, your white is a real... Michael, your white is a real life badass, you know, about him right now. Who? The Sheik versus Bruce Lee. Who wins in heaven? So kind of, you know, all I'm trying to say is watch out who you get in a confrontation with. There's some old fogey men out there with baggy eyes. Other than myself. I could probably kick any one of your asses out there. You understand? Don't judge a book by its cover because you just really don't know what somebody can do. All it takes is one trick of the trade, man. And you're down like Leroy Brown, man. But at the same time, don't expect anybody, as I say, to strike a pose for you so that you could get that little trick of yours in, or that little shot, something that you know can bring them down. It doesn't always work your way. And I'm saying that. As you can see, I'm not being narcissistic here at all. I'm not saying I'm a martial artist guy or anything like that. I know a few things. That's real. That's very real. I could probably hurt somebody even at my age if I got the opportunity. And they're not going to stand there and pose me. Okay, I'm in the right position now, so whatever that little trick you has, do it now. They're not going to do that. You got to find that opportune moment to do what you might call as a talent, or the little trick of the trade, or not the trade if you're not in the trade, a little self-protecting trick that may be something you perhaps learned. You know the only thing I ever learned? You want to know the truth? I did all the katas and all that shit, and, you know, what I learned is from somebody. It had nothing to do with little classes I took at a young age. I learned from somebody. He says, forget all that shit. you know, you not be going through all these moves, and you're going to go. The reason for the katas is to get yourself in position. You're stepping forward, you're stepping back, you're going sideways. You're going to position your body for a strike, expecting their strike, or anticipating when you're going to be striking back. Like that cobra that looks you in the eye. And he's waiting, and he's waving his little big head around, you know? And he knows when the opportune moment comes to strike and spit that shit in your eyes or whatever. He knows, like a cobra. An educated person who wants to be a street fighter or some shit like that, all they need to learn, never mind all the theatrics, okay? The katas they do apply. These moves, they do apply. I mean, they actually really do. And you should use them if you know what they are. There's a reason why you're positioning your body. There's an absolute reason. It's not like, hey, look at me, look at this move. I look like a ballet dancer. No, man, it's not like that at all. It's positioning in yourself in anticipation for them striking you, how they're going to strike you, where they're going to strike you, okay? But it's going to be how fast you are in interpreting. Look at their eyes, look at their hands, whatever it is. You'll know when they're going to make a move if you're really observant enough, but in the frightening moment of fighting with somebody, you may not be looking at these signs. You may not be at all. And they're going to have the best of you. But I don't care how old you are. I don't care how small you are in comparison to somebody else. You could take down a much bigger man if you just know certain things. It's like, in other words, forget what some people are saying is that forget all the training shit, that if somebody like went for training or something in that martial arts stuff and a lot of years of training, yeah, chances are to the average person you'd be able to kick somebody's ass if you really know what you're doing. But sometimes you don't, even if you got a black belt, even a 3rd degree or 4th degree. You might find something that someone that anticipates your moves, and they was just a little bit faster than you. They struck like a fucking cobra. No matter what your martial arts degree is, you didn't have a chance in hell. It doesn't always work like that, like you see on TV. No matter what sounds you're going to make to scare the other guy away, you know, nothing. Move fast, motherfucker. If the guy's big and you're smaller, there's chances are you're going to be more agile. You're going to be more agile than they are. Speed matters, man. Even an older dude could muster up some speed if he had to a bigger guy. Surprise the motherfuckers, what you gotta do. Surprise him. Make him think that you're weak and vulnerable, then all of a sudden strike back. I had a incident when I was a kid and I was doing some of the stuff, you know. And the way it works, okay, so when you're sparring with somebody, you know, you're going to take the role of defending yourself. It don't matter. You're just a simple yellow belt. There's guys like at least a brown belt or something. Okay, so the job is you want to get your opportunity. It's like in court. Okay, you're going to get your chance to speak, and the other guy's going to get his chance to speak, right? Okay, so same thing on the street. But let me tell you what happened with me. It was actually funny, actually. You had to have been there. I was pretty quiet when I was taking some of these lessons, you know. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, really. So it came, you know, you had to, over at the dojo, you had to have your opportunity to get into defensive mode in the other party, no matter how big they were or how much bigger their belt was than yours. You had to defend yourself. So he's going to be throwing, you know, he's going to be throwing punches at you. He's going to do a roundhouse kick. He's going to do all kinds of crazy stuff. So I had to do that. And this guy was, you know, he was making contact with me. I'm saying, fuck, man, I'm only a yellow. You're a brown. What the fuck are you doing to me, man? I don't want to get hurt. And they'll hit you if they have to, because you have to learn. They're not trying to hurt you. They're not going to do it full strength, but sometimes they make some good contact with you. I said, enough of this shit, man. So then it was the other way around. He had to be on the defense, and I had to be on the offense. Much bigger guy, trust me, I was a young teen, and he was a grown-up guy. I mean, really, a big guy. 2.5 times my weight. So it's my turn to start do the striking. And fuck, man, I went on this guy like you wouldn't fucking believe. You heard of Peter Frampton comes alive? I came alive. Even the sensei said that. And at the end of the night, he gives me a piece of paper about entering a competition. I wasn't ready. I didn't have that many lessons, man. I really didn't. I wasn't ready. You got to read on there. You got to sign off. They're not responsible for death or injury. And I'm saying, wait a minute. I don't know who I'm going to be fighting against, so I didn't go. Honestly, I didn't go. I was just too inexperienced to do that. And I know, it's supposed to be somebody on your same level, but you don't know. You don't know the level of training they had, really. I mean, it's supposed to be on your same level. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So I didn't want to take the chance at the time because I was just too inexperienced. And to this day, I do respect these people who have actually trained a lot and they learned a lot. And I really, honestly wish I would have continued that. The only way I've ever continued that was not in some dojo or so. It was, it was home. And I still do it to a certain point today when I do my little workout in my little gym I put together. The one thing I really can't, I don't tell you my weak points. I don't want to say that. There's certain things I can't do very well as I used to. But there's certain things I can still do pretty good. So the basic thing to do is to practice on effective striking. In other words, you ain't got the energy at an older age to carry on for 15 minutes of fighting. I mean, trust me, you don't. And I know that with me. So what you have to do has to be done fast and just quick and effective. If it don't work, it don't work and you get your ass kicked. But you got to try. But there are things you can do that can bring somebody down and you don't have to put that fight into overload over time. There are things that I know how to do. I hope I don't ever have to do that because some of the things I know could probably kill somebody. Seriously, I'm not blowing my horn here. I don't want the chance to try to use it because two things are going to happen. It ain't going to work and you're in trouble and you're going to get your ass kicked. Hey, I'm being honest about this, right? I'm not boasting. I'm not doing anything like that at all. I'm being real. I'm critiquing myself here. I'm being as real to you as I possibly can. No matter what you know, there's always that chance that it ain't going to work. Or you weren't quick enough or don't have the agility enough to do it. Be honest with yourself. Just be honest with yourself. That's all. There's a video of a 65-year-old boxer mopping this 30-year-old overconfident dude. Sure, there's a lot of that, man. It's a good topic anyway here. Yeah. Don't be overconfident of yourself. Don't just assume I can kick somebody's ass. Don't assume that because you may not be able to. Sure, you meet somebody, you size them out, but there might be a reason why you could kick their ass. Okay, how they're physically built, their weaknesses, weak points, their general complaints. And you put all this shit together and you get to know a little about the person. What is their weak points? How could I take advantage of that? What would work for me in a situation which I never hope to have? I'm not a young man anymore. I will tell you right up front, there is no way in the world that I'm looking to get into a confrontation physically with anybody. I'm not stupid. I'm realistic because of my age. Talk to me 20 years ago, that's a different story. But there's no way in the world, unless I have to, for my own self-protection, will I put myself in a position of getting bodily harm done to me at an older age, because it would take a lot longer to heal at an older age. You get a bone broken or something, or fall and bust your hip, you're gone. If you bust your hip, you're gone. At an older age, I will tell you, you will die within 12 months. If you break your hip and you're at an older age, you're not going to heal very well. And you're going to become so sedentary, it's going to affect your cardio and everything else. This is a fact. Learn. I'm teaching you something again. Don't fall. Don't ever break your hip at a senior age. Healing is almost impossible. You'll never be the same again. And because your hips are in bad shape, you have a lot of pain, it's affecting your walking ability and everything else, which is going to affect your cardio, You could die within 12 months of having a fractured hip, even if it was repaired. Okay, it's serious business. Break a hip at an old age, you're fucked. You are fucked. You are so fucked that it ain't even funny. But I really don't even like talking about it. I mean, it appalls me to even talk about violence. I don't know what you think of me. I'm not a violent person unless I have to be. To protect people I love or to protect myself. And believe me, I'm the kind of guy. Do you remember on the Three Stooges when Curly had to get in the ring? And it was something about cheese. If it was like Limburger, and Mo would come out there and make Curly smell the Limburger cheese. And Curly would just go fucking wild. Okay, I'm like that, but not with cheese. If I see a drop of my own blood, my adrenaline will go like, pow! It's your built-in natural responses to danger. Your adrenaline rises high, okay? All your senses come alive. You don't know where they came from. If I even seen a drop of my own blood, that's the catalyst that would get me going like crazy. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If the person is just too overwhelming for me because of age and their physical shape and whatever, I'm probably a goner, man. Am I being honest, guys, or not? Do I sound like I'm bragging on here? No, I don't. Absolutely the opposite. I'm being as real as I can. I think anybody listening to my voice, they can't say anything about what I'm saying tonight because I'm being real. I'm not claiming I could do this. I'm not claiming I could do that. All I'm saying is I know a few things, and if applied properly, the right situation, I could do a pretty damn good job of defending myself and possibly hurting somebody really bad. But I'm also saying at the same time, I'm not advocating this at all. But if it means saving your own skin, saving your own sorry ass, then you do what you have to do. You only got one life, and you got people that love you, that you love. You want to protect them. You want to be around to help them and protect them and be in their life. You don't want anybody to kill you, because when you have a fight, it's not a friendly situation. The other guy wants to hurt you. He's not thinking about he could possibly kill you with the right shot somewhere, hitting the appropriate place. You could die in a fight. Two adult people fighting is a serious fucking thing. Have you ever seen adults really fighting other than TV? You know, bare-fisted. It's not funny. It's bloody. It's messy. It's hurtful. I've been in a couple, believe me, I have been in a few fights in my life, not just dojo shit. I was a kid, Street's a different story, man. And I've had some street fights in my life. I know what it feels like to get hit. And they also know what it felt like to get hit from me. I was built like a fucking linebacker growing up, really. You've seen some old pictures of me. You might see some that I shown on there. I wasn't a big, huge guy, but I had a pretty good package, really. And I wasn't really somebody to fuck with, even at the height of, 5'8". I had lost a little height. See, I don't say I gained height like some people. I lost some. I was 5'8", about 5'7" now, because your bones shrink as you get older. My average height was 5'8", not 5'7". But through the years coming, bone shrinkage and all that shit, you lose height. I was always just at the point of 5'8", right there, right on the button. Not much higher, but right on the button, where 5'7" kind of turns into a new digit. I was always 5'8". Now, I haven't even measured myself. I've always been, from that point on, 5'7". I've never measured myself for years. But I'm not any shorter than 5'7", I can guarantee you that. Okay. Most fights usually involve some juice. I think I know what you mean. Wide Eye says people will bite and gouge in street fights. Of course they will. Wide Eye says weapons are never off the table when you're afraid of your life. Right. Look, you got to do. I know somebody out there that admitted they couldn't protect themselves. And they said, and no names mentioned, please don't mention any on here, I'm going to carry a weapon, he says. And he did carry a weapon all the time. It was a knife, yeah. I'm very observant. I had a situation with that person one time, and we won't talk about that. I seen him going down to reach for his pocket. I had a good memory. I remember him saying, I always carry a knife. And that's where you get smart. Exercise your memory. Remember things that people say. Remember their weaknesses, their downfalls. Did they have injuries before? Where's their injuries? What kind of injury was it? Where was it? Okay? That's what you gotta think. You got to use that as a weapon against the other person. It's called knowledge. Know your opponent, know your enemy. If you do, you might have a chance against somebody, as long as a weapon is not introduced. And don't make believe you're Bruce Lee or somebody and you think you're going to kick the weapon out of their hand and all that bullshit. You don't know what's going to happen with that. They may get a lucky strike at you. You might hit an artery, you bleed to death. You don't know what's going to go on with that shit. You got to play it safe, man. So what am I saying? If you can't handle the situation, you just kind of politely walk away from it. If it means that you know you cannot win, you just say, I'm not getting into this shit. Enough of this shit. Don't matter what it looks like. You might be saving your own ass. Like that truck I seen years ago that sold bread. It said something like, drive carefully. The loaf you save may be your own. Somehow I always remembered that. Bruce Monroe says, same here, Frank, with shrinkage. I'm like maybe 10 inches. Wade says, if you get maced, it's all over, man. All you can do is pray the other guy his mercy. Yeah, I guess you're right. Life. No, man, it's just... as hard as it might be, you're in a situation like that you don't really want to be in. But you got choices to make. If you think you're big and bad and tough, or just self-preservation, really. All right, you may not have a choice. I know you can't stand there and just get the shit beat out of you. That wouldn't be a wise idea. That could hurt. It could cause damage. You could bleed. You could break bones. You could even die. So you got choices to make. Okay, that's the fight or flight syndrome that's built into our body. That's also been built into all the animals in the world. You will see these alpha. There we go with the alpha. You got these alpha wolves, and you'll know which one is the alpha. In a situation, a territorial, they're fighting over territory. The alpha male comes in, and he's all known. They know he's the alpha male. And the challenging wolf is going to realize that this guy is tough business. I'm not going to take over his territory. It's easier for me to just kind of sniff it out, get a feeling that, well, this guy is an alpha wolf. I'm just going to walk away so I don't get hurt. That happens with giraffes. It happens with elephants. It happens with rhinoceros. It happens all these creatures when they fight each other. Oops, sorry about that. There was a temporary disconnect. The other party makes a very clear and concise statement that I'm the big boss around here. You're not going to mess with me, so I'm going to whip your ass, the wolf said to the other one. Okay, it was picked up by the other wolf, and they got it straight. No, I don't think I want to deal with this guy. It's too much of a hassle. I could get hurt, killed, whatever. The animal instinct, we are animals. We are animals. We are supposedly more advanced, supposedly, because we could build skyscrapers and shit like that. But you'd be surprised how intelligent animals are on certain levels that we don't think they are. They could sense your emotions. My dogs do this. They know when you're happy, you're sad or glad. They act upon your moods all the time. If you're not aggressive with your animals, they show you their love. My dogs come up to me, they're always kissing me. And the older dog, she's a little bit older now, but she's moaning and everything. She's kissing my face, and the other one just likes the attention. They both fight over the attention. They're very happy when I come home. They show their affection to me because I take care of them and I love the dogs. They know that if you're an aggressive person or not, but they'll really respect you if you get aggressive with them, or they'll fight back and bite your ass whether you're the owner or not. Dogs will protect themselves. Don't matter if you're the hand that feeds it. They will bite the hand that feeds it, trust me. How much love there is. A dog will protect themselves, and every other animal on the planet will do what they have to. They all have positions in life. They take the alpha positions and the beta positions. They make it known. You could be a small guy and you could take the alpha position. When you look that guy in the eye and you show them that you're not going to back down, and the other guy's thinking, well, this guy's an easy target, but I don't know, man. He doesn't look like he's backing down. What if he is a good fighter? What if I get hurt from this, even though I'm bigger than him? Well, a lot of big guys, they don't think that way. They think, I'm bigger than this guy. I'm going to just mess him up really bad. Then they get surprised. Well, that doesn't happen. Well, how many times that has happened, right? A lot. In the U.S., violence is everywhere. And it's worse in the States, I know. Well, they impede your right to self-defense. Mr. Yadig says, I don't understand it. Wide Eyes says it's a culture shift. At Mr. Yadig, there's a giant group of people who have carte blanche to be animals. You would think so, wouldn't you? 1000% facts. God digs that that's crazy. It is, but it is what it is. Tim Stevens says, Ricky served Fazio a plate of whoop ass. Well, what we were discussing was, yes, he did, but it wasn't right the way he did it. But, this talk about fighting and shit kind of makes me kind of uncomfortable, really. The fact is, I'm an older dude. I'm certainly not looking to get into physical confrontation with anybody, no matter how much I don't like them. But the only thing I'm saying is that I guarantee I'm not going to stand there. I will do whatever is humanly possible, even if I'm in pain. I will go above my pain level. That's where the adrenaline takes over, and it hides the pain after a while. Until your adrenaline level goes down, you're going to feel the pain later on. But when you've heard of women lifting up a Volkswagen from behind, somehow went over their kid or something, and a woman doesn't have that kind of strength, but at that moment, her adrenaline went so high that she actually was able to lift up a little bit the back of that Volkswagen and get a kid from under the wheels. I've heard stories like this. Incredible strength coming from people that you would never believe it came from. Same thing happens in a fight, man. If you're in there, you're gonna try to protect your life, because a fight is not to tickle the other guy and make him laugh. That's not what a fight is. They're out to hurt you. Bottom line, it'll also kill you accidentally, even if it's not intentional, okay? You have to do whatever you have to do. And believe me, your adrenaline will rise. It'll rise to the occasion. And you will do whatever it is you have to do, unless you just decide to walk out on it with something. Well, according to what the situation is, it might be the best idea to do. If you're that confident that you're not going to get your way in this fight, and you've sized them out, and you're not feeling up to par to do something like that, then maybe you should back out. It might create a little embarrassment for you, perhaps, but it's better to be embarrassed than to be obliterated. Wouldn't you agree? If anyone threatens you, document it. It will definitely help you legal defense, God forbid, yeah. You got a new subscription from my brother. Right on, brothers. Okay, guys, listen, I gotta go, because I sort of do have a life beyond this phone. Believe it or not, I actually do. I got a lovely woman here I'd like to pay a little attention to, perhaps even watch a little movie together or something. But I want to thank you for showing up. We kind of really segued into some interesting shit on here, like I normally do on this show. And all I'm really trying to say, and to sum up all this up, since we got into this stuff about self-protection and all this crap, I will never pretend that I'm this or I'm that. I'm not going to pretend what my age is. I'm not going to pretend what my capabilities are, because I have not been in a fight for a long time. But I am a lot older. I cannot guarantee myself that I'm going to win a fight that I'm in. No guarantee. I may get lucky with some things that I've actually learned. Might be able to use that in a situation, and it might work out for me, or it might not. Either way, you got to try, is what I'm saying, unless you want to really get hurt. Nobody wants to get hurt. And I don't think anybody really wants to inflict pain on somebody else, unless they have such a violent nature. They can go to jail for this, they could even get killed from it. You never know. You're thinking that the other guy is weak, and you're thinking that the other guy is just a squirt. Nah, don't think that way, because you'd be surprised how many little squirts, how well they could take care of themselves, even if it's a lucky shot. Don't ever underestimate your adversary, because you might be wrong. And there's a lot of people that got into confrontations with people that they thought were a little squirt. Turned out the other way around. They were some tough shit. It happens. It's not fiction. It's reality. Whether it's by experience or a lucky shot, whatever, knowing your enemy's weaknesses, whatever it might be, you put it all together. If everything works out all right, you're home free. If it don't, you'll either be dead or you're going to get pretty well bruised up, a few broken bones on top of it, which I'm sure nobody wants that. I don't think anybody wants that. I sure though. I'm an older dude now. I could talk about what I did years ago, how tough I thought I was. And I never really thought I was tough. I told you, I'm my biggest critic. I never thought I was a tough guy. But I have been in some skirmishes, and I won every one of them. Because when I get excited with something like that, I go into that mode I talked to you about. That fight or flight shit, that self-protective mode. And it's like a light switch that turns on. I'm hell on wheels. And I've proved it in my life. I could be hell on wheels. I even talked about certain things on my show a long time ago. Some instances I've had, even at work. I had a job when I was younger. What happened? I'm not going to stand there and take bullshit from somebody. I just can't do that. It's a waste of time, waste of energy. Get it over with. Do what you're going to do. Get it over with. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. Either he's going to get his ass kicked or I'm going to get my ass kicked. Somebody's going to get their ass kicked. Or maybe both of us would kick both each other's asses. Or we should say, fuck it, okay, shake hands, nice fight, maybe next time. It doesn't always happen that way, but it'd be nice if it did, wouldn't it? It's not like a movie. These two masters of something, or masturbators, whatever they are, the big fight. Then they're really impressive of their talents. They're both beat up to shit. And they walk away from each other and they shake their hands and say, that was a good fight. Only in Hollywood, man. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. There's some truth to that, actually. Miko, there is some actual truth to that. Now, there are situations where you can't walk away. You're right. Because you have to defend yourself. You really have to. You don't want to. You know who wants to get hurt? Do you? I don't. Nobody wants to break a bone and go to the hospital, have a hospital bill, or be in pain. Nobody. So if you could avoid a fight, you avoid it. You stop running him out. I'm going to kick this guy's ass when I see him or some shit like that. Well, in a perfect world, maybe you could kick that guy's ass. A lot of times it's all fucking talk. And if something came up, they might find out that they're going to get their ass pretty whipped pretty bad, and they're going to wish that they never challenged you or tried to challenge you. Because you don't know what an ass whooping you're going to get from anybody, regardless of age. Age is just a number. There's a lot of old timers around, man, that could kick the ass out of the younger men, even without a lot of training. You're either a tough ass that knows how to protect yourself, or you're not. Or you get that lucky punch in, whatever it might be. It's better that you have the talent than depending on luck. Because sometimes luck does not run your way. So my advice to everybody, stay out of trouble. Iron out your differences if you can. If you can't, if it's something that really serious, then take it out in a court of law and let the law figure it out. This way you got a third party involved and let them make all the decisions. Was this person right or was this person wrong? That's it. It's better that way. No broken bones, no blood. Let somebody else make the decision on who's right or wrong. It made a better person win. No fur is flying, except maybe in a courtroom of stress for the accused. That's life. There are consequences to every single thing you do in life. Let's face that reality. 100% true. That's right. I'm not, repeat, a violent person. I've never beat up a wife of mine like some people have. I never struck a woman in my life. Never, ever did anything like that at all. That would be callous and be cowardice. Don't get me wrong, there's some women that are some tough son of a guns that could beat the shit out of a man. Everybody assumes that women are so helpless. They're not. If they apply themselves to the situation, they might have not gotten raped. They might have not gotten beat up. A lot of women think, I can't fight against a man because he's a man. He has a denser bone structure or bigger bone structure. Man, you just got to know what to do, where to hit. Kick him in the nuts. The easiest thing to do in a situation like that. If you got a clear shot at their fucking groin, punch him or kick him in the groin. That could work. When they bend over in pain, that's when you give them a fucking uppercut. And they're knocked out. Done. Bye. Going home. Have my dinner. There's other things you can do too. You're not defenseless no matter how old you are. And whether you're a man or a woman. Women gotta learn to understand. They have power. Women can protect themselves. But they get stereotyped in their own mind into this position thinking, I'm a woman, I can't defend myself against a big strong man. The hell you can't. Gouge his fucking eyes out. What do you care about if he's gonna have a damaged eye or something? It's your fucking life. That's why I laugh when I watch these movies all the time. I laugh. Come on, man. You're gonna stand there and help your boyfriend get his ass, guys literally killing your boyfriend. And she's just standing there not knowing what to do. Instead of jumping on that guy's ass and scratching his eyes out or going for his jugular or something. That's Hollywood. But in real life, a woman can do that. But she shortchanges herself in this stereotype that women are weaker than men. That's not always true. There's some badass women out there that can beat the shit out of any guy in the street. They're street tough. They're hard-nosed. They won't take shit from any man. There's a lot of women. There are women gangs out there that'll scare the shit out of you. In Brooklyn, still have them. In the Bronx, Chicago, and places like that, Michigan. You got girl gangs. that the guy gangs are afraid of. Don't underestimate the power of a woman, ever. Don't assume that because you're a man, you can just go and beat up some fucking woman. You shouldn't do that in the first place. But secondly, don't underestimate what she can do to you. Okay, I have seen a woman beat this dude's ass a couple of years ago. I mean, she gave him the business. They're capable. They just got to know that they are. That's why some women take martial arts classes. It builds up their confidence to know that you have the ability to fight back. And they do. Respect women, and they know how to protect themselves if they just apply themselves. But they keep on thinking of all that stereotyping. I can't fight a man. I'm a goner. He's bigger framed. I'm not going to be able to win over him, but there are things you can do to protect yourself. Even a senior, there are things you can do to protect yourself against a larger opponent. There are things that you can do. Don't kid yourself, man. You'll know. You get into your next fight, and you know you're older, and you know that you can't afford to get the shit beat out of you, not at your age. Because although wounds heal, generally they do, as an older person, your wounds are going to take a whole lot longer to heal. Keep that in mind before you get in trouble, man. Okay? All right? Keep that in mind. So don't get into that confrontation to begin with. You don't have to worry about that. But if you do, you do your damnedest best to cause as much damage as you can to the other person so that you're able to get away and just end it. You don't want to kill anybody, of course not. I know, you want to teach them a lesson. Remember, if they're younger, they're going to heal. They're still going to be the same asshole, the same nasty, potty mouth, pretend tough guy that they think they are. But their wounds will heal. You're not going to change their character. But if you're an old dude, your wounds may not heal, or they may take a long time to heal. Just keep that in mind before you decide to be a tough guy, all right? They take longer to heal. They certainly do, man. Bottom line, Mr. Yardig says, we'll end it with that. Never underestimate anyone. And believe me when I tell you, I don't underestimate anyone. They could always get that lucky shot in that you did not expect. If they stun you and they act fast enough, they'll beat the shit out of you. Just don't allow that to happen, okay? Try not to allow any contact from the other person. They may take a swing at you. Do what you got to do to prevent that. Then you go on the offense, and you do what you have to do to bring remedy to this fight by disabling the person from the ability to get up again to fight you, or hurting him just to the point that they're going to decide, I don't want to do this no more. They didn't want to get any more hurt. They thought they knew you. They tried to feel you out, but they didn't know what your capabilities were. Nobody knows. And I don't know anybody's capability. I met anybody on the street. I don't know what they're capable of. I don't really want to find out. And at my age, I certainly don't want to find out. But I think you all get my point. I think I'm being sensible as I can. Okay, take care, people. Thanks for coming by. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I do have a Gcash number on my description. If you care to donate, I only say this once on my show. If you care to donate, please do to support the channel. That being said, I'm here because you're there. Hit the notification button, and we'll catch you at another time. And just keep in mind, stay out of trouble. It's not worth it. It really isn't. You could settle your matter different ways. It's not good to get into confrontation with anybody. I don't care how young you are or how old you are. It's not worth it. In the end, it really isn't. It's just not. Okay. Take care, folks. Thank you. Thank you again.